guys, in this video we're going to look at how to identify which scales are used to construct a piece of music. If I were to write a piece using the notes of the G major scale, I would need to write a sharp sign in front of every F because, as we learnt in the last video, the G major scale has an F sharp in it. Instead of doing this, we can write just one sharp right at the beginning of the piece of music, which tells us to play every F in the piece as an F sharp. The reason we do this is to make the music less busy and easier to read. In this case, having a sharp sign in front of every F does not look too bad. But if I were to write a piece using one of the more complicated scales that we have not learnt about yet, we would end up with a piece of music that looks like this. This is very busy and complicated to read. When we write our accidentals at the beginning of the stave, we call it a key signature. This tells us what key we are in, which essentially tells us which scale is used to construct our piece of music. The three key signatures we need to know are C major, F major and G major. The C major scale does not have any sharps or flats in it, so our key signature does not have any sharps or flats in it either. The F major scale contains a B flat, so when I write an F major key signature, I write a flat at the beginning of the stave. As you can see, this flat sign sits on the B line on both the treble and bass clef staves. The G major scale contains an F sharp, so when we write a G major key signature, we write one sharp sign at the beginning of the stave. Again, this sharp sits on the F line in both the treble and bass clef staves. Even though the sharp sign sits on the top line of the stave, it sharpens the F that sits in the first space of the stave too, as well as any other F, no matter what position it is in. The key signature is always written directly after the clef sign, before the time signature. A good way to remember this is to think of putting these signs in alphabetical order. Clef, then key, then time signature. If we are asked to identify the key of a piece of music, we need to look at the key signature, any accidentals that may be written within the piece, and the starting and ending notes. This piece of music has one sharp in the key signature and no accidentals, so we know that it is in G major. We can confirm or double check this by looking at the first and last notes of the piece, which should also be G's. Similarly, we can look at this piece of music, which does not have any sharps or flats in the key signature. We can confirm that this piece is in fact in C major by looking at the first and last notes. This piece of music does not have any sharps or flats in the key signature, but contains an accidental. If we take a closer look, we can see that the note B has been flattened. While the key signature points to the piece being in C major, the B flat points to this piece being in F major. We can confirm that which of these key signatures is in fact correct by looking at the first and last notes. This piece begins and ends on an F. This, together with the B flat accidental, tells us that we are in F major. The first and last notes are not always the same as the key. This is why we look at both the first and the last note and only use them as confirmation rather than a deciding factor. This piece contains an F sharp in the key signature, which indicates that the piece is in G major, but starts on the note D. Here we will disregard this note and only look at the final note, which is a G, and confirms that we are in G major, as the D does not provide us with confirmation of key. Please have a look at the extracts in the accompanying notes and try and identify their key signatures. Please feel free to come and see me if you have any questions about this section of work.